Hey guys, we're going to be talking about shoulder function and movement for shoulder health and optimal movement, obviously. I've seen a lot of guys coming in, and ladies, you guys are coming to me with those repetitive shoulder issues. So sometimes we have tightness, whether it's pec, shoulders, traps, just sometimes we get bumps, bruises, or we're tight in a certain area. That's normal. We can usually work it out through some mobility, and then it goes away. But the repetitive ones, like where it's just constant, right? And if that's you, you're always coming to me with the same shoulder issues, or you're always like, my elbow constantly hurt, my wrist hurts, elbow pain, and then that front of the shoulder. If that's you, there's something we're doing that isn't functioning properly. There's some type of movement mechanic that I'm doing repetitively in workouts that when we speed it up or we add a lot of load, my body is just doing something differently than what it's designed to do. Certain muscles are kicking on, I'm closing off joints, or I'm moving improperly, so that's going to cause some issues. Okay, so one thing I'm going to talk about is our shoulder mechanics and how we should be in that front rack position. So we're going to talk about that front rack position. So that a good front rack is going to be that elbow up here, and then when you have a barbell, I'm able to get this wrist outside the elbow. Okay, so you want that. I should have that as a mobility issue or as a good front rack. Okay, so I'm here, elbow and wrist in the line here. A lot of times I'm seeing like that internally, and I'm sure you guys have all seen it. Somebody's here or unable to accomplish this. What we're doing is we're letting the bar sit in those fingertips. Now think about that. When that bar sits in the fingertips, look what it's doing to the wrist. Okay, I should have a full grip on that bar into that position. If I can't get a full grip on that bar to accomplish this, then I have to create some type of compensation, which is going to usually be those open fingers, okay, which is going to crank on that wrist. Okay, that's one. So full grip, okay, on the bar. Can I maintain that? Okay. Now, when I go into think of that in a pull-up position, right? Here I am. If my elbows are in and I can't get that position, or my elbows flare out in that pull-up position, we're going to have a different issue, and I'll talk about that in a second. But here we go. So if I'm here in this position, when I press overhead, there's my shoulder in a stable position, right? Now, when we come down and close, a lot of things I'm seeing is we're not getting this lat activation, that scap drop motion. So we come down here, and then that elbow comes back in the same line that it went up. It's almost in a straight line and back through. That's my shoulder moving in a proper motion. What I'm seeing is, instead of coming down and through and getting back in that good front rack position, we're pressing up, and then we flare out with that elbow and come down and do something like that. It's a little bit exaggerated. But if we put that under load, and I have a dumbbell here, or a barbell, and I go to press, right? And my first inkling is to come out here, and I let that elbow come out here. What happens is I close off that joint, okay? Causing that shoulder blade to tilt up and forward, and I get those little pinch points up here because it's closed off. Think about that in a pull-up position. I pull up, elbow's flaring out, boom, I go back up, and now I'm kipping, and I add that motion into it, and I'm constantly doing this with my elbow. Get in a push-up position, same position, right? Here's my front rack position, I'm on the floor, let those elbows flare out. You can see how just flaring out that elbow, how the front of this shoulder is going to tilt forward. So these are the things that I can put you through an assessment to figure this out. There are certain ways to kind of figure it out, and we can pinpoint what is actually causing it. Is it tight muscles, tight lats, tight triceps, that's tight pecs that are causing that dump forward? Is it something that maybe we're just doing in a mechanical error where I'm just going up like this and then I flare out and I just don't know how to get that lat engaged to bring it down? So one of my favorite moves that we can do to just strengthen it after we determine if you're doing this on your own and you kind of look yourself, record yourself, and you're like, oh, my elbow does flare out in a press. How do I get it to come in line here? We got to slow the movement down. Slow and methodical. One of my favorite things is the bottom-up press, nice tight core. We want to make sure we're not leaning. So nice tight core, squeeze everything. And from here, I'm going to go like a 3-second up. And then I got to come back in that straight line, keeping that elbow in front of my body. Press up. And the reason why I'm doing it here in slow and controlled is because I'm reteaching my brain under control. Okay? If I just go straight up, and I come down, you'll notice I kind of lose a little bit of mechanical failure, and also this creates a little wobbly motion. If I'm going too fast, I'm going to dump it. Okay, so it kind of forces me to be slow and controlled. Go up, lock out, come right back into that front rack position. Okay, that is one way you can do this with bands as well. Kettlebell is a good one too for the bottom up press. That's how you retrain your shoulder. So, challenge you guys. Record yourself, or if you're a member of the gym here, come see me. We'll do a shoulder evaluation, see how those are moving. We're going to determine if it's just mechanical or if it's a mobility issue that we can stretch out, roll out, and fix. Because sometimes if I can't get in this position because of mobility, we can loosen up those muscles with some work. Maybe that'll help us regain that position, then I'm in a good stable position. Or sometimes it's just I'm hypermobile, haven't learned to use those muscles yet, so I'm going to flare out that elbow. And then it's just a learned mechanical thing that we can fix through these dumbbell presses. So record yourself, see how that shoulder's moving, and this is a corrective exercise you can do to kind of help fix the problem, and then we can fix the way the movement of that shoulder happens. So what else are you guys dealing with? Shoot me a message, like our channel, give us a thumbs up. Always love to help you guys out. So see you guys next week.